What's up, super players? It's your homie C-Rod, and today we got the starter deck Frieza, and this is a deck that's heavily based on destroying your opponent's hand by forcing your opponent to discard cards from their hand and bringing in the Frieza army to eventually obliterate your opponent with critical attacks and eventually, hopefully, finishing the job with a double strike. That is the premise of this deck. So how are you going to do the hand destruction? Well, the leader himself, you're able to KO one of your Frieza army members on the battle area, and then you force your opponent to discard one card from their hand, and then you're also able to take a life, allowing you to self-awaken. And he also has a permanent that you cannot include any Saiyans whatsoever in this deck, and an awakening ability that when your life happens to hit 4 or less, you're able to flip this leader over, draw one card, and restand one of your energies. Then he becomes Last Resort Frieza, and Last Resort Frieza has an auto that when he attacks he draws a card, but a very unique activate main ability that you're able to choose one Frieza's army card in your battle area, place it in the drop area, and then you get to choose which card you want to discard from your opponent's hand. And then you're also able to grant critical to one of your unison cards, which is very key to this deck and keeping the hand destruction and hand control going. So that is Frieza in an essence. So now let's build this Frieza deck. First things first, we're gonna add the Unison Frieza card that we're gonna heavily base this deck around, and it happens to be Frieza Xeno Darkness Overflowing. This Unison card is very key to this deck because of its activate main ability that you're able to add one marker to this card and choose one card in your hand, discard it to draw a card. This card is very useful to help us take advantage of playing out Dodoria, which I will go over in just a moment, and that Dodoria is a Frieza's army you're able to KO to continuously discard your opponent's hand with our leader. And another activate main ability that you're able to take away one marker to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, 4 cost or less, and KO it, allowing us to bring out Frieza to be able to critical our opponent to death as well. Or you're also able to choose one of your opponent's unison cards and remove a marker from it. So this Frieza is very, very strong, and you gotta open up with this Frieza. So we are gonna be running 4 of these Friezas for sure. And he also has a permanent that if he loses a marker, you could choose to take a life instead of actually making Frieza lose a marker. So we're gonna be running 4 of these Friezas. And then one of the extra cards that's very unique is this 1-star ball, Parasitic Darkness. So this card right here is going to allow us to turn our Frieza battle card on the field into Xeno Frieza, which will ultimately finish the job in this deck. So this card, activate main, this is what we're mainly going to use it for. Choose one Frieza card with energy cost of 4 in the battle area, place it under this card, then you're able to play one Frieza Xeno card from your hand or deck on top of the chosen card in active mode. And you're going to be able to do this very frequently, bringing out multiple Friezas if you do it right. So that is the premise of this 1-star, and you could also combo it for a 5k power boost. Worst case scenario, we're going to be running 4 of these because you definitely want to swarm the field with Xeno Friezas. And then after that, we're going to be adding this extra card, Cells Earth Destroying Kamehameha, because this card is very key to keeping the theme of hand destruction, because when you combo this card or when you activate its battle, giving 15k boost to one of your battle cards or leader cards during the combo phase, you're also able to choose one card from your opponent's hand and discard it if all your energy is green, and this deck is mono green. For that reason, we're going to be adding just 2 of these Cells Earth Destroying Kamehamehas. Now, one of the key cards in this deck happens to be this Dodoria, Frieza's Devoted Servant. So this card synchronized with the Xeno Unison card is so darn good because you're going to be able to discard this card with your Xenoverse Frieza, and then when this card is discarded with a skill, you're able to play it onto the field, allowing us to have a Frieza army member on the field to KO when our leader attacks, to be able to discard your opponent and be able to self-awaken. This card's so good in this deck for that reason. And you could also add it back to your hand if it's in the drop area for 1 green energy, if you happen to have a green unison card in play, which you will. So we're going to be adding 3 of these Dodorias for sure. And one of the newest cards in this deck is Dormant Potential Unleashed. This is what people call the flying nimbus of the green because of its counter attack ability. If your leader is mono green, you're able to choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to a total cost of 2 or less and KO them, meaning you're going to be able to KO battle cards on the field and be able to bring out Frieza onto the field to continuously bring the critical pressure. And additional ability that you may choose one card in your hand and discard it, and if you do, your opponent can only attack once more this turn, meaning it's going to stop your opponent from doing multiple attacks that could ultimately pressure you too hard. That is this card in an essence. And a permanent skill that makes this card even better: if you have a green unison card in play, you're able to activate this card without actually paying its energy cost, meaning it's for free, and that's why we're going to be running 2 of these. That card is so darn good. And to self-awaken, we're going to be adding this Infernal Emperor Frieza, because this Frieza is very key to allowing us to take a life upon being played, and also you can KO it since it is a Frieza's army to take another life and then force your opponent to discard when you attack with your leader. This card is so key to awakening quickly if you really need to. So we're going to be adding 3 of those. And then another card that's so good happens to be Shocking Death Ball. We're going to be adding 4 of these negates because this negate not only stops an attack, you're able to KO one of your opponent's battle cards that's 2 cost or less, and then you're able to actually play out the 4 cost Frieza for free onto the battlefield, and then eventually hopefully use the 1-star parasitic ball to bring out a Xeno Frieza from your deck or hand. This is one of the Xeno Frieza chain starters. So we're going to be adding 4 of these because it could also save you from a detrimental attack. And in order to see our main play, we are gonna have to actually find them. So in order to find the main man, Zarbon, Frieza's right hand man, is a card we're definitely gonna have to run. We're gonna be running 3 of these Zarbons because when you play this card, you're able to search the top 5 for a unison card that happens to be green or a Frieza's army member that's 4 cost or less and add it to your hand. This card's super key to this deck to make sure you eventually draw into Frieza Xeno Darkness Overflowing, and an activate battle that you're able to grant 10k power to your unison card or your leader if you warp this card from your drop area. Very key card to the deck, and we're going to be running 3. And since we are going to be running Frieza cards, we're going to be running Frieza Terrifying Transformation. For 2 energies, it comes out onto the field, and if this card would be removed by your opponent's skills, you're able to draw 2 cards. And then if this card survives or you want to activate main, 1 green energy, choose up to 1 Frieza card with an energy cost of 4 in your hand or drop area, and you're able to play it on top of this card in active mode, allowing you to bring out a 4 cost Frieza that is very necessary to start the chain of the parasitic Xeno Frieza. So we're going to be adding 3 of these because this card is very key to start the crazy Frieza chain. And then after that, we're also going to be adding a 4 cost Frieza. For 1 energy, you bring this guy out and he's able to KO one of your opponent's battle cards that has barrier, ignoring barrier, which is very key to get rid of those detrimental cards like Vegeta's and those type of situations that you just need to remove a barrier card. This card's very key, and he's double strike, allowing you to go for game with a barrier card because he also has barrier himself. And the main play of the deck is Surprise Attack Frieza, and you're going to be able to bring this guy out with our Unison card that KOs battle cards 4 cost or less, and when this card is played, it's played for free if you KO one of your opponent's battle cards. And that's why this card is so key to the deck, because then you're able to not only swing with a critical attack, you're able to use 1-star parasitic to pretty much find and search your deck for a Frieza Xeno from your deck or hand. So we're going to be adding 4 of these because this card you definitely want to swarm onto the field. You could attack this card, bring the parasitic under it, and then get the Xeno Frieza, KO something. If you have another one in hand, play it again, and then put another 1-star Dragon Ball, bring out another Xeno Frieza. So this card is swarm potential. We're going to be adding 4 of those. And then the Xeno Frieza you could search from your deck happens to be Frieza the Power Monger, which is a Xeno Frieza. When this card is played, it does have Deflect and the unique keyword skill and an auto that if your opponent has 3 or more energies when this card is removed from the battle area by a skill or it's KO'd, add up to 1 green extra card with energy cost of 1 or less from your drop area to your hand. You're going to be able to add the earth destroying kamehameha or a negate depending on the situation. This card adds you a card, so this card's not bad. And an activate battle that could go for game. When this card attacks, it gains 15k power and double strike. So this card is very key to the deck to finish the job. We're going to be running 3 of these. And then the other Xeno Frieza we're going to be running happens to be Frieza Dark Infestation. This is a double strike, and it has a similar effect to the other Xeno Frieza. If your opponent happens to have 3 or more energy, when this card is removed from the battle area, you're able to add 1 green extra card with energy cost of 1 from your drop area as well, and an activate main that you can play this card in the owner's drop area and choose up to 1 of your opponent's cards in their hand and discard it, allowing us to keep true to the hand destruction. So we're going to be adding 3 of those, and then after that we're also going to be adding this Frieza charismatic villain, because this card is a card that can also KO a battle card, because it has a counter play that when you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 7 or less and KO it. And if you happen to have a unison card in play with 2 markers, you're able to play this card without paying its actual energy. So this card KOs something, allowing you to bring out surprise attack Frieza and be able to bring out the Xeno Friezas as well. We are gonna be running just 4 of these, just 4. You're running the max that you can run in the deck. And then we're almost done, guys. We're just gonna be adding one of the main guys to this deck, and it happens to be Ginyu Frieza's Greatest Soldier, because this card gives 10k boost to your unison card or leader card, and on top of that, when this card is KO'd by your skill, you're able to get this card back to your hand. So you're going to be able to continuously add this card, and you will not be negging a battle card every time you KO something with your leader's ability. So we're going to be adding just 2 of these, and last but not least, we are gonna be adding our super combo, and I went with Zarbon super combo, the Gorgeous, because this card is just Frieza's army member that could be searched out. It gets a 10k boost, and you draw a card if your life is at 4 or less. Not bad. And that is the Frieza parasitic, and this is going to be the deck. Hopefully you guys like it. Subscribe if you are new here. Like this video for more Dragon Ball Super card game content like this one. And like we always say, y'all stay super.